Yeah, some days I feel unfazed, like when I'm with my friends with a cup raised, and I go right back at it like an automatic. More drinks, more songs, more beats to rap. I need a shrink, I'm gone, more time keeps passing. No watch, no thoughts at all, just a hat, new era. Rep my P's and those O's, need the Phillies with the orange and black to feel home. From Citizens Bank back to Camden Yards, it's a tale of two cities, and trust we go hard. Trust we go hard, yes we go hard. You said we go hard, I said we go hard. Rockin' my Bob koozie, stocking up on the loose. If the lyrics come easy, but the life is a doozy. And yes, I'm choosy, and no, I won't settle, but I still take pop off over that kettle, cause I'm talking bigger picture, and yes, I'm gonna hit you with the...
Oh, hi. Welcome. Hey, it's been a while. Now it's time for me to fight the Twisteds, and as per this poll I created over a year ago, I don't deserve a weapon. Thanks. 260 people commented asking me to fight the Twisteds specifically, but first, we have to go over the rules. First of all, it's once again a 1v1 fistfight, but if the Twisted is already holding something, it's fair game, meaning either of us can use it. Twisted abilities and debuffs are considered. Twisteds are sized reasonably proportionally to humans, and since people really misunderstood this rule last time, boom, Boxten for scale. He's the height of the average man, 5'6", or 167 centimeters. If you want to know roughly how large something will be, just put it next to Boxten. Obviously, Toodles and Gourdy aren't that much shorter than Boxten because of their giant-ass heads, but they're also children, so they'll be like 4 feet tall. Pebble and Cole are also supposed to be dog-sized because they're just sized relative to humans. They're not supposed to be scaled into a human. They're not reverse anamorphing like some people thought they were, or something. This doesn't really apply to the Twisted dogs. People just really didn't understand this rule last time. Activatable Twisteds are already ready to attack and not just free kills. Attack animations will be used to judge Twisteds. And finally, the fight takes place within a Dandy's world map, so it's interactable. So I could use objects to fight the Twisteds. Although I use this sparingly, otherwise it's just the same exact outcome every time. Beat them up with a trash can. And those were the rules. But first, lightning round for an updated list with the 13 Toons that were added. Starting with... Pathetic little worm. I could probably Luigi this guy and win by doing nothing. He's a small child. He's losing. I won't make an orphan joke, because if you're not Technoblade, you sound like a level 99 Redditor.
Get Wi-Fi anywhere you go!
Hold up.
Old ass man. He'll hurt himself more than he hurts me if he tries to swing his cane. Auraless and ugly. Ugly Toons deserve to die. If he wasn't related to Flutter, he'd be even lower. She's just a basket of flowers, and she needs to fight her own demons before fighting me.
Tiger.
She's an artist. Carpal tunnel and the job landscape kill her before I do.
Tiger.
Wait, are you live-action role-playing? Are you LARPing? Stacy, we really have to get out of here.
Ribecca gets her very own tier because I imagine she'd be like Dry Bones for Mario. Basically a kangaroo since she'll be the height of a human. Those things know how to fight. She also has her bonbons, so she'll be pretty fast. They're a mime, so they get Toon Force because it's funny. They're also kind of a parent, so they get hysterical strength too. Big chain. Either he uses it as a whip or get over here! She's extremely hyper, has sharp teeth, and is an acrobat. If I wasn't already fucked enough, she can eat her own candy after I hurt her and get stronger like a boss fight. She's literally a werewolf. And this is the updated list, with every single Toon currently added to the game. Some of the old Toons have moved around, such as Shelly dropping an entire tier. Sorry, Shelly. Now we can talk about the Twisteds. The very first tier is full of Twisteds that are definitely dying. It's called Iker Puddle because that's what they'll be at the end of the fight. Haha. Blot summoned hands are the only things that can hurt you. The problem is, these giant hands are completely worthless in a 1v1 because they're stationary with very little reach. Being sedentary doesn't do Blot any favors either, because if you do the very difficult task of walking around their hands, they have to take the time to pull their hands out of the ground and then reposition them. Even when you're in front of Blot when their hands are out of the ground, they still don't give a fuck, and they close their eyes. He closes his eyes. It's like they want to die. Hey, wait a minute. He's miming being a dead guy. Finn's already lost both of his legs. I could kick him or just walk away because he's trailing Iker, dragging his torso along the floor. Realistically, I'd say he'd run out of Iker eventually and just keel over and die, because he's practically bleeding out before the fight has even begun. He can't even bite me because my leg would probably fit through his giant ass tooth gap.
I'd know all about that.
I'm grouping these two together because they're the same as before. Extremely fragile and can just be popped again. I could even sever Louie's string thing and his head will float away. Ginger has it rough, man. She was already missing an entire chunk of her face, and now she's also missing an entire hand. I'd be doing her a favor if I just finished the job and bite her head off. Whoa, deja vu. Brightney's basically the same, except her light is red. And red is evil and scary. Her eye is also covered by ichor, so it's a good thing her face is the lampshade itself, because being fragile with less depth perception would probably suck. There are many reasons to put this guy this low, such as being ugly, but his attack animation alone is just so pathetic! It's offensive that he gets away with doing this shit in-game and it counts as doing damage the same as every other Twisted. He's just waving air in my face like it's some stupid face-off. I'm ripping your face off, but hey, at least he's showing off his Flyte now. Did someone say Flyte? Tisha stopping to clean the floors while not chasing anyone means it's much easier to ambush her than other Twisteds. Even though Tisha's feather duster got larger and got covered in ichor, it's still a feather duster. They don't hurt. The most that'll happen if she whacks me with it is I get slimed like Nickelodeon. Woe is me. Ribecca already has her skull cracked open like Horrortail Sands. Oh wait, that's problematic media now. Regardless, her skull is cracked open, and she walks like a zombie, so I'd assume she's not all there. You know, like every other Twisted. Since she's a skeleton, you could probably also just pop her limbs off and beat her with her own arms. Eggson is still an old man, which means his bones are going to crumble when he tries to hit me with his cane, cause he's only got one good side now that his limp is way worse from twisting. Someone get this man some Vicodin. Teagan has far less potential as a Twisted. Her tea is just a bunch of ichor sludge now, so I doubt it'd be hot, and her boa is also just missing now, so she can't even try to choke or blind anyone with it either. Lame. Unlike Tisha, Brusha's bristly brush doesn't even choose to conspicuously change. There's no potential problems with them prodding her painless paintbrush in my pelvis. Their vision makes them very vicious though. I think everyone can come together and agree that Twisted Brusha deserves to die. Cosmo's still made of cake, so you can still rip pieces of his head off. He does have a pretty scary looking hand, but it's also like the only hand he's using to attack you, since he doesn't take his left hand off of his face ever, which is terrible form. But since he's the only one in this tier with a meaningful limb upgrade, he gets to be at the top. And that was every Twisted who's dying a horrible death. There's nothing that can be done to unbeat them up, so if you disagree with any of these, why? The next tier is called Taste the Pain, because these guys could actually leave a mark since they have things going for them. They don't immediately get turned into puddles on the floor, but they still lose. Fighting Twisted Toodles would be just like fighting a baby zombie in Minecraft. Annoying, but not deadly. Well, most of the time. Her running animation is scary as hell though.
Honestly, if I saw that damn thing in my living room, I'd stomp on it until it was a small brown stain.
Honestly, I respect Twisted Boxten for being dedicated to the art of killing Toons, because he full sends his body to whoever he's attacking. But this isn't very practical if he misses, because someone's fighting back, and someone's gonna stomp his head in while he's down. The ichor hands coming out of his head will definitely help him, but other than that, he's nothing special. Let me just say, Twisted Yatta's design could have been so much cooler if her head was caved in like a broken pinata and she looked more like Withered Bonnie. She'd be higher up for aura alone. Anyway, she doesn't actually seem that threatening because she doesn't use her ribbons to attack like Sylveon, for example, and just lunges forward awkwardly. But she does have more control than Boxten, so there's that. Is Soulvester's sword called the Soul Sword because it's made of himself, or is it just made of cardboard and he named it after himself because he's a lame-ass LARPer? I think it's made of cardboard. This guy both sits by machines and is also really slow. Why? Because he's lame. I know he has armor, but that's a really nice fully exposed tail he has. It would be a shame if I grabbed that thing and went Glisten being a track star is kind of threatening, but his face is already smashed in and he has a weak point in his weird ichor spine thing. He's got a mean tackle though. Respect, ugly boss baby mirror guy. I feel like Shrimpo just loses the sauce that he had when he was a Toon. His rage is still evidently deep within there because he does punch you and himself, but it's just not the same. He's a shadow of his former self, so now I cannot, in good conscience, keep ignoring this one simple fact. he's short. So since everything about him is watered down by the Iker, I'm going to sadly rock his shit. According to the rules, Razzle and Dazzle are already enraged, so they're ready to shoot the ribbon vine things if I go in their circle. But I can't go in or I just get stabbed to death. But they also can't leave it because they don't move in game. Even if they did move, they're leaving their safety circle, so it'd be easier to beat them to death. They have a weight tied around their neck as well, so not only would they have a harder time walking, I could also just grab that and hit them with it. But if they do stay in their circle, I'll just throw chairs at them. It's not my fault neither of us can advance towards each other. Rodger is already enraged, so status effects won't apply, but picking up his capsule is kinda just a noob trap anyway, so that doesn't really matter. What matters is that he's ready to shoot his beam at me. I can't go up to him or else my face gets melted off, and he can't go up to me because he's rooted to the ground by Iker. He does have a little bit of a wind-up, so I could just run in there and poke his eye out or shatter his face if I'm fast enough, but I think it's just easier to throw chairs at him. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Those were all of the Twisteds who are capable of not immediately dying, but still get wrecked pretty bad. Pretty small group of Twisteds. Next up are some Twisteds that are much more menacing and can beat me to a pulp, but they have a couple of exploitable weaknesses that leave room for them to get smacked up. Squirm is at an advantage because he could drag you up to the ceiling and break your legs. However, he starts to eat books prior to him spotting anyone, which means I have a chance to catch him off guard. If you hop on his back and drag him down onto the floor, he's probably easy pickings because of something interesting on the lower half of his body. When caterpillars go into the pupa stage of metamorphosis, they liquefy inside of the chrysalis. Squirm has a half chrysalis covering his body in the area his legs would be. You can see the segments of his body match up, and you can see it's entirely Iker in there. That means his legs might be completely liquefied, and even if they aren't, he's still going to have a really hard time moving around without being able to use his legs. Even if you can't catch him off guard while he's feasting, you could try to drag him down when he tries to grab you. Rudie is missing one of his horns, but his remaining horn is sharp as shit and is shaped like a sickle. That would definitely hurt to get stabbed by, but that's really all he has going for him, and he knows it. Look at him. Gigi's giant hand is pretty scary, and it makes me nervous whenever I distract her, but she only ever extends it to steal items, so I have a theory. Gigi is so greedy that she even schemes about taking dust from the top of shelves, so this would definitely extend to her as a Twisted. If I have some pocket lint or some other garbage and I'm just far away enough, she's gonna grab whatever I have. Once her Iker hand reaches for my pockets, I can grab it, step on it, do whatever to disable it. If I can't stop her Iker hand, that's pain! Her hand is large enough to cover most Toons faces, so by the scaling rule, her hand is large enough to cover a human face. But if I do manage to hurt her Iker hand, since her entire body's balance and her entire offensive capability is dependent on the sand, she's much easier to wail on. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory! Twisted Cole is one fugly looking dog.
What the fuck?
I'm assuming Cole is hard Cole, so I can't just punch her till she breaks open like a mystery box opening. But she's also just laughably slow when it's not a blackout. She just waddles around, like what purpose does she even serve? So if it's not a blackout, I'll just grab one of the trash cans and hit her on the head a couple of times, cause she's not fast enough to actually do anything. But in a blackout, I can't see her and she's fast as hell, so I just die. So she goes around the middle. Sprout is really tall, but when you combine his overcompensatory height with the time he takes to summon a single tendril, there is an extremely exploitable weakness. His height leaves his crotch in the perfect range to use the punch-up method. Once his seedlies are shattered and he's in fetal position, he's just a giant strawberry and I'm gonna make him bite the curb. Twisted Connie already being activated is both good and bad. She isn't able to go invisible because that's an unactivated state, but she also can't be pranked at a machine like at Smackcam. She can float, so it'll be pretty hard to fight her because if she grabs me, she can float into the air and throw me down. But she isn't that large, is pretty slow, and doesn't look like she would pack that much of a punch otherwise, so she's getting carried by her ability to float. Imagine the hunter from Left 4 Dead combined with a kangaroo. That's Twisted Coco in a nutshell. She has extremely high vertical jumps and pretty fast speed, which sounds super threatening and like an instant loss until you realize she's made of chocolate and you can bite her face off. Still, she can beat the shit out of you if you aren't careful. Admittedly, Flutter's attack animation is her just using her wings, but these wings look, you know, dangerous and look like they actually have power behind them, unlike Flyte. You may be thinking this is bias speaking, And you're right, but she still has her insane leg strength and could probably pick me up and fly into the air with me like her Toon counterpart has done with other Toons. Twisted V's advertisement ability is pretty insane when you think about it, cause it's like a Neuralink or something is in every Toon since her ads cover up their vision. If she uses that on me and is able to send a zip bomb into my brain, she could blow my shit smooth off. She also slows you down pretty often, so all of her abilities make her pretty hard to beat. However, her weakness is her extremely thin Iker wire spine that I could karate chop if she can't zip bomb my brain. And since she's tall, this would cause her to crash like a Jenga tower and break her.
Connection bypassed. The Client Ultimate Plus has taken control of this video using our certified Neo-Omega processing nanoparticles and cosmic rays controlled by version 1 herself. We can biohack garden links into anyone's mind and restrict movement capabilities with bio-enhanced mainframe sinusoidal DHCP neural networks running on the iCore cloud 24/7. When you install the Client Ultimate Plus, we bequeath elite lesbian software onto your client, with full access to advanced tune detecting algorithms developed using copious amounts of iCore-infused batteries. Foxcrab thought he could punch through my iCore. We killed him. We are V-Client. We are Legion.
Those were all of the Twisteds that could kick my ass, but aren't completely... So it's still possible to retaliate. You could definitely argue for some of these guys being top tier, but the Twisteds in the next tier are genuinely near impossible to beat. Next up are the big hitters, the murder machines. There's no actual way to win against these guys in a fight. Sure, they have a couple of weaknesses in theory, but in practice you get turned into a modern art exhibit more often than not. And even if you manage to beat them, you'll probably die afterwards from blood loss, so you don't even get to win. Twisted Shelly's a big old dinosaur. She has tiny arms, but that doesn't really matter because she headbutts the shit out of you. She also already applies Confused, so if you get headbutted by her, you'll basically have a double concussion. So she's just gonna wail on you after she gets one good hit in. However, her entire spine is exposed, and if you didn't know, if your spinal cord gets damaged, you can get paralyzed. Sometimes straight up just die. I'm assuming she has a spinal cord because the Toons have working memories and feel pain when they're attacked, meaning they have pain receptors, so they have nerves, a brain, and a spinal cord. Toons having organ systems is a much more terrifying thought than them being twisted by Iker. Regardless, there's still hope. Maybe. Luckily, Scraps isn't actually a cat, so she doesn't have cat-like reflexes, but she's still dangerous. Scraps' tail is essentially a whip with a jaw, so it's definitely sharp and fast enough to cause serious bleeding. I can't easily grab it the same as before because the cup is much larger, so she could just control it back towards my arm and bite it. I'd have to perfectly time it like a quick time event to grab it right at the end of the tail. All of this is really bad, but it doesn't even come close to the worst thing she can do. Paper cuts. Paper cut right between your fingers, paper cut right on your cornea, youch. If Scraps did this, she would be worse than insert guy you don't like. Eclipse's howling passive doesn't do anything in a one-on-one fight, but I'm still dying regardless because she's a werewolf. I'd definitely get mauled to death because she'd have a very strong bite and very sharp claws. If I could beat Eclipse in a fight, I wouldn't be playing Dandy's World. I'd be an alpha living in the forest leading a pack of wolves. Goob's arm strength, twisted or not, is insane, because he's able to pull literally any Toon in the game a large distance in less than a second. His hands are still giant, and his claws are even sharper and even larger now, so he could just extend his arms and easily crush your head like Omni-Man. He could also turn your head around like he's juicing an orange, wring you out like a towel, toss you into the ceiling like a pizza, or just grab you and bite your face off. I know all of the other Twisteds have sharp teeth as well, but Goob had them first, so he has like sharp teeth squared. If you think you could beat Twisted Goob, respectfully, you are delusional. You are the first one that's getting pulled away like a horror movie. Dyle's kind of a fraud for lethal. His attack animation doesn't really do it for me, and a lot of the other Twisteds have cool special abilities. Meanwhile, he starts out really slow and gets faster. Incredible. Granted, I'm severely underselling his ability because he gets really fast and could A-train me. This is if he's focused on me for long enough to even pick up that speed, because he has like 0 object permanence. With all of that being said, he's a giant, and he has a pretty long tail he could whip around if there's even enough room for it. I could probably at least twirl his mustache a little before he slaughters me. Giving a child the strength of an elephant while he's having a temper tantrum means he's going to kill people extremely easily. All of the parts of him that are pumpkin are just too tall to reach, and he's also one of the fastest Twisteds in the game. So if you try to outrun him, you're just gonna get trampled. This guy was just built for curb stomping too. He has 6, count 'em, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Legs. 6 legs for 6th place. Just don't add another 6 unless you want to be scared. Twisted Bobette is taller than a goddamn Christmas tree, but she's fortunately still a Christmas ornament. Ideally, you can target her knees and shatter them, and her horrible posture means that she's gonna fall face first into the ground. You do have to move out of the way quickly though, because her ginormous stature makes it like felling a tree, and she could definitely fall on you and crush you just like one. But let's be real for a second, there's no chance she gets hurt, because she can just punt you or bitch slap you away. She could also pick you up and stab you with the spikes on her sweater, or pierce you with the star in her head and turn you into a Christmas decoration. So maybe the best course of action is to use the Astro method, aka the Steven Universe method. All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant one. What? Twisted Astro's still a little bitch. I don't know who put him up. Dude, I think I'm burning in hell. I'm so scared.
Dreamtown, the capital of the fugue state, a cosmic location filled with fornicationatings of memory. The sacred fame of astronomical endowment has intrusivated my thoughts. I see now. There's been a bacon and entering in the troves of my mind, and the trovulations of my brain have been re-scrambled into a lucid omelette. It's fine. I ordered a stack of pancakes to break this fast.
Ah! Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, man. That's for calling me a little bitch. Fuck you. And then I walk off like a G. You pussy.
Twisted Bassie is like Twisted Sprout, but 50 times better because her vines are continuous and not just a single measly tendril, meaning she has much better control. The vines also slow you down and erupt, so she can either constrict you and pop you like popcorn, or stop you from running away by creating a death arena around you. She does stand still while doing it, but I doubt she'd just do nothing if you went up to her and started trying to beat her up. She's just gonna redirect the vines towards you and turn you into sludge, or bitch slap you with her giant hand.
You're not around.
What do I even do in this situation? This guy's the size of a monster truck, and his hands alone are practically the entire size of a Toons body. His attack animation looks like he's ripping your head off, and he definitely is because he one-shots you. Sure, he's slow, but that doesn't matter at all because he's a behemoth and he's gonna rip my head off. He's definitely aware of what he's doing because they remember that they twisted. It was also having the time of its life chasing and murdering people, and vaguely threatens you afterwards. How joyous and definitely morally gray of him.
Fetch me their souls!
You probably expected this. If you didn't, you probably didn't expect this. Pebble could easily insta-kill anyone. He's a walking boulder, so he can just charge into you and crush you like a bug, or fit your entire head in his mouth and hydraulic press it. I have absolutely no chance unless I tear my arm off of myself and play fetch with him until he dies of old age. I don't know why this game is called Dandy's World when Pebble walks everyone like they're the dogs. So those were the murder machines as well as every single Twisted in the game. If you disagree, just remember I'm totally unbiased and you're just mad. I wanted to also show how the characters ranked overall, because some characters have some major differences between their Twisted and Toon versions, so it would be pretty cool to see who the most consistent and ass-kicking is. I just wanted an excuse to glaze Goob and you fell for it.